Hello friends and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm going to be doing this very pretty, more on the subtle side of unrecognizable makeup. So this has been a trend that has been going, I think it started at the beginning of this year, I could be wrong, on TikTok. That's where I've been seeing a lot of these videos pop up, which is basically a more elevated makeup look with the focus on a more smoky, sexier eye. I attempted to do that. For someone who hasn't done eyeshadow and really just leaves a blank space on the eyes except for mascara, this is definitely the unrecognizable makeup for me. So here's the makeup. Take a quick look and then we can go ahead and start with how I got to here. But before we do, please be sure to subscribe. It is super easy. It does help my channel a lot, and thank you so much if you've already subscribed. So let's get into the makeup. For any type of makeup that I'm going to be doing, my priming is the most important thing. And for the most part, priming my face involves a good skincare routine, which has already been done. But right now we are in the middle of winter and my skin has been super dry and very sensitive for, I want to say, like a month-ish or so. So I'm going to begin with the Merit Primer. This is the Great Skin Priming Moisturizer. I bought this kind of recently during the latest Sephora holiday event. It's very good. I've really been enjoying this product. I haven't used it as much because I've been focusing on finishing up other older primers, but because my skin is so dry, this is perfect. The next step is always, for me, going to be adding a more glowy primer besides whatever moisturizing primer I used. Especially because today I'm going to be using a foundation, which I haven't used an actual foundation in a long time, and especially a more full coverage one. We're going to be using the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. But the very first step is going to be my favorite product. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. I have mine in the shade 4 medium. And again, because this is going to be a more full coverage matte foundation, I think this is not really considered a matte foundation. I think this is more like a satin, if I'm not mistaken, but it's still a full coverage foundation. So I want to have a little bit of a glow under that thicker foundation. Now we can move on with the foundation, and I am in the shade 11. I'm not sure if this is the perfect match for me, and especially because I don't remember, I haven't used it in a long time. I'll probably use that much, but I can always come back and add more if needed. I love her skin tint. I use it pretty much every time that I'm wearing some type of makeup. But today, because we're going for that unrecognizable makeup, I do want to wear a more full coverage actual foundation. I do want to add a little bit more, so pretty much the same amount that I just added. But this time I'm going to blend in with my beauty blender. I did grab a beauty blender today. You know, if you follow me for a little while, that I love applying my base products with my fingers. But again, because we're using a more matte full coverage or semi-matte full coverage foundation, I do want to blend everything in with or at least the second base with the beauty blender. One of the best ways of achieving a very natural looking skin, even when wearing full coverage foundations or even matte foundations, is going to be the amount of product you apply. So even if it's a full coverage, you don't need to slap on a ton of makeup for it to do its job of covering fully, and just adding a little bit at a time, kind of like layering the products slowly as you go and then building up if needed. At least that's what works for me. Again, I'm no makeup artist. So now I'm going to skip this part because you've seen me do this a million times. I'm going to add my coverage for the white patches around my face. So Tarte corrector under the eyes, and then to cover the white patches around the face, I'm going to be using the KBD Beauty Good Apple, and then the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer on the inner corner of my eyes to bring some more brightness. And then we can move on with the rest of the face. I went on and did a little extra things. Of course, I covered the white around my face, and I used a finishing powder from this lovely Hourglass palette. This is my favorite out of the 4 that I have. And the other thing that I did was just freeze my brow. So the process starts with the e.l.f. Brow Freeze that I've been loving for a long time already. And now before we move on with the rest of the face, I want to do something with this lip. So let's go ahead and bring some more color, even though this might not be the best shade. This is by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Iconic Nude. I've seen a lot of these videos and some girls are rocking a nude lip, some are going for like a more glossy type of lip. But I feel like for the majority of them, it's more of a natural neutral lip. So I thought to use this, and I'm also gonna try to overline my lips a little bit since the whole point is to be unrecognizable. I don't love the look on me, but let's try it today because we're trying to do something different. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. I did overline my lips, but just a little bit, and I haven't decided what lipstick I'm gonna be wearing. I did grab a few that I think would look good, but it'll just depend on what we end up doing with the eyes. So now I'm gonna move on with bringing some more definition to the face. I'm gonna be using two products to contour because again, we're trying to go all out today. First, I'm gonna be using one of my favorite contour products. I just hate the packaging. This is the Hollywood Contour Wand by Charlotte Tilbury. It's a very messy product, so you just have to be careful with that. I wish she came out with a different way of having this product, maybe even like in a kind of like concealer type, because this is very annoying. Okay, I'm just placing the product wherever I want to contour, and I almost missed my chin. I was gonna contour my nose, but I'm gonna do that with powder so I don't mess up. Then my regular contour brush. This is by BH Cosmetics. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I want to look very snatched. Now I'm just adding extra contour with this Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I've got mine in the shade medium, and I'm just using this product in the same exact areas where I used the Charlotte Tilbury, just to bring a little more definition into the bone structure. I'm going to add a little bit of contour to my nose. I barely ever do this, but today we're gonna go all out. I usually, whenever I do this, I'll use a small fluffy eyeshadow brush because I want it to be very undetectable. So just down the sides of my nose, connecting sort of like to my brow. We're all set with the contour, so now let's move on with one of my favorite steps, which is going to be the highlight. I'm gonna be using same thing as I did with the contour. I'm gonna be using two products. The first one is going to be my favorite, probably ever highlighter. This is Cava by Merit, and I love this formula. It's very beautiful on the skin. It gives you a ton of glow, but in the most natural possible way. So let me show you. You see how pretty? I don't think the light is too good right now. I think it kind of got a little bit dark. For my second highlight, I'm gonna be using this beautiful Hourglass, what is this? The Ambient Strobe Light palette. I'm gonna be mixing this too. And I'm gonna apply same areas where I just applied the Merit highlight. Just tapping a little bit, not too much product. To finish up with the cheeks, I'm gonna also use two different blushes, starting with Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic blush, and then topping it off with Rouge by Merit, which has been one of my favorite blushes from this past year. So the way I always apply my cheek products is what works best for me, and I feel like whatever highlight you use always looks more natural whenever you're using first a highlight and then on top the blush. Sort of like a blushing from within look. So I'm just gonna mix it together. And I like to smile, and the way I like to apply my blush is going to be on top of, like here, right on the top of the apple of the cheek, and then just bringing it back, almost like pulling your face up, and that will make it look a little bit more lifted. Here it is so far. Now for the cherry on the top, the cherry on the cake that is our face right now, is going to be this beautiful, stunning blush by Merit. All of them are very pretty, but this has been my go-to and my favorite since I purchased this. And I'm gonna be using this very old random brush that I've had forever. Again, smile, doing the same thing, apple of the cheeks, and then pulling it up to the face, almost like to the temples. Same thing, connecting. Then I go back to my powder brush with no product, and then I just like to brush off the sides of the nose just in case it got a little too intense, that connection of the blush. This will tone it down just a little bit without taking away of what you just did. I almost like to kind of like define the products with this brush, making sure everything is correctly placed. For the eyes, I'm gonna be using the Man Eater palette by Tarte. This is a very old palette, but it is such a good formulation, and also the colors are so pretty. I think this is literally the best palette to come up with that very pretty snatched, almost like cat eye look with just shadows. That's what you go for. Okay, so I'm gonna begin with a flat brush, and I'm just going to use the lighter or second to lightest shade in the palette, and I'm going to add this on my all over my eye just to create a bit of a base, even though I'm already wearing powder and concealer from earlier. A lot of the looks that I've been seeing again on TikTok was pretty much a matte look with a very intense eyeliner, but I do want to add just a tiny bit of shimmer. So I'm gonna use probably this one called Foxy, dabbing it with the same brush, and I'm just going to very lightly apply on the lids. Okay, now to the fun part. I'm going to use a fluffier brush. I'm gonna go for the shade Purr right here in the middle, and I'm going to just throw this on my crease, blending very lightly, very softly. Again, this is all about a more soft look on the eyeshadow, but more focused on the intensity of the liner, kind of like that wing line we're gonna be doing in a minute. And now to come up with that more elongated look, I'm going to use a smaller fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Midnight, which is the darker brown here in the corner. I'm gonna top off the excess, and I'm going to start running this on the base of my lashes. Just a soft stroke. So we sort of, I'm just trying to make those lashes appear fuller, and I'm gonna be using an actual pencil, like an eye pencil. But first, I'm going to make it a softer look on the bottom, and then we can go for the pencil. Now with the same shade, but a more precise, more dense brush, I'm going to attempt a very light wing. And I say attempt because it's gonna be very, very light. Now that we have that very little tiny wing, I'm gonna go with a brown eye pencil. This is not cruelty free. I've had it forever, and I don't want to showcase it in my channel, but I want to use it today because again, I have it already, so I have to use my products. I'm going to retrace that same line I did with the brush and the shadow, but with an eye pencil. Now with the same brush that I used earlier, I'm using the mid brown. So this one right here on the bottom of my eyes, just to bring a little bit more smokiness. Again, the whole point of this look is to be more smoky. I think we're done with the eyes. I need to do, of course, some mascara. I'm going to add a ton of mascara. I don't really use eyelashes, but that's another option. A lot of the tutorials or looks that I was seeing on TikTok were using eyelashes, but that's just not something that I really do or use. So I'm just gonna do a combo of the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash Mascara with one of my favorites, well, both of these are one of my favorites, the Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. I'm gonna begin with Lisa's mascara. And I'm going to add a ton of coats. We're gonna really coat those lashes. I am all done with the eyes, and I did just finish up with a little bit of inner corner highlight. I used the lightest shimmering shade in the palette. I know it doesn't seem maybe for a lot of you very unrecognizable or like a lot of makeup, but for me, having all of this eyeshadow and then having used eyeliner, it's a big deal. So for the type of makeup that I do, or that I've been doing for the past 2-ish years. This is definitely unrecognizable for me, and I love how the eyes turned out. Very natural, but also a little more impactful than my usual makeup. I am just loving it. And of course, I also did my brows off camera. I used the Rare Beauty, what is this even called? Brow Harmony Precision. So now we have to wrap up this face with some lip. So I'm thinking in either the trusty Pillow Talk, which this never fails, and I'm going to go for a glossy lip. That's something that's for sure. I'm gonna be using the Gisu, I don't know how to pronounce this, honey infused lip oil. Or I was also thinking about going for Lisa Eldridge. I think this is Lisa. I'm pretty sure this is the shade Lisa. I think I'm gonna go for this one today. Yeah, that's a very pretty color. I decided against the lip gloss. I'm just gonna leave everything as is. I think it looks very pretty. I know this is not for everyone to think this is the unrecognizable makeup because it's more on the subtle side, but it is definitely a way step up from the makeup that I've been using for the past 2 years. I really love it. I think it's a perfect also date night makeup. So I might just be using this same makeup on Valentine's Day. So I'm not entirely sure just yet. We're still a few weeks away. What do we think? Do we love it? Would you go for this makeup as a more natural, everyday option for the unrecognizable makeup? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you click out. And also let me know in the comments if you see any of this makeup trends going around on social media and you would like for me to recreate them. Let me know. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!